Here's why painters should always supply the paint. Hi, my name is Remy Boudreau, licensed painter, color consultant, owner of Expressions Painting, and founder of Expressions Painting University. One of the things that I'm now seeing in the industry that I'm personally seeing as an issue, at least I'm starting to see it bloom into an issue, is the fact that a lot of times painters now are telling their clients to supply the paint, we'll put it on type of thing. And the problem here is that today's paint is so vastly different than what it used to be a decade or two ago, that you really need to know before you get to the job site which product is going to be used for the surface, the substrate in question, so that you can come prepared with the right tools and the right techniques. Because unfortunately now, some products require certain techniques, certain rollers, certain brushes, etc. So if the painter doesn't have a say in this part of the equation, the unfortunate reality is that the painter, in a lot of cases, may be left in a position where you put the paint on, but then there's no sense of control of what could happen after. It could create an uneven finish, it could create blisters, peeling, or all sorts of things that can happen. But if the painter wasn't supplying the paint, then there's limits to what the painter can do. Now, I say this, and I'm addressing in this video both the homeowner, or not both, but as a community, the homeowner, the paint manufacturers, and the painters. Because I'm seeing an issue, it's one of those things where everyone kind of has a small play in it, right? From a manufacturer's standpoint, I don't like the fact that there's a lot of times those big promotions where the homeowner sees an incentive of purchasing the paint immediately to save that money, right? But if the homeowner is planning on painting that, using that paint and putting it on themselves, then that's completely different. But in a lot of cases, what we're seeing happen is that the homeowners will buy the paint thinking that they'll save some money, and then a week or two or month, whatever down the road, they'll call painters and ask them to put this paint on the wall. Well, you go into a situation where the painter comes there and the paint's already there, and then you know this is not the kind of paint that would normally have been put there or that a painter would normally work with, because there's many characteristics that can be put into paint. And the way a homeowner do-it-yourselfer applies it versus a contractor or professional is very different. So manufacturers, tweak the characteristics of a product to be able to be applied thicker and level off, or to be applied the thickness that perhaps a contractor would. So all those things are very different. So a paint store will be trained to sell certain paint lines to what they will perceive as a weekend do-it-yourselfer, and another set of products to what they will perceive as a contractor. But with those big discount weekend or week-long sales, a lot of times the homeowner will buy the paint thinking they're saving. But the reality is, whatever discount you're getting there, it's about what most painters would pay anyways. So if you instead talk directly to the painter, which then that person becomes the trusted expert that you're seeing, you're considering to see if they're going to be your trusted expert with the estimate. But a painter will then be in a position to come to a house and not just give an estimate, but also give the recommendations of what products should be used based on the individual needs of their prospective client in front of them, right? So you see, when the painter is not supplying the paint, or there's an incentive for the homeowner, or a perceived incentive for the homeowner to supply it themselves ahead of time, the painter is in a position where there's no incentive of going out there to get that knowledge, where they're just going to focus, I'm going to put the paint on the wall. But then unfortunately, it often leaves homeowners in a position where it's not the right product, it wasn't the right technique, or maybe not the right tools used for that particular paint that they purchased. It's not that there's one wrong or one right paint out there. It's just that depending on the clientele, the paint stores will sell different products to different clienteles, and when there's that big sale, they're thinking that they're selling to do-it-yourselfer, when in reality they're kind of selling to a homeowner, which is then going to be professional to use it. Okay, so I'm trying to make it so that the painters out there see the value of getting the knowledge of what's inside the paint, so that they can then be in a position of being an expert, right? Because once you get that knowledge and the know-how of how to put it on, then you start becoming a lot more valuable in the marketplace. Because what I can tell you, there's so much knowledge, there's so much different paints out there. There needs to be someone for the homeowners to discern everything and just have one voice speaking to them, to uncovering their needs, so that what's put on the wall is what's going to work for them, based on the fact that it would be a professional doing it. Okay, it's one of those videos where I'm addressing a little bit of different people here, but I'm hoping to maybe start a discussion with this, so that everyone can kind of see what's at stake based on everyone, right? I can see why the paint manufacturers would do those big weekend discounts, but unfortunately, it had a certain impact that then puts the painters in a position where their clients have maybe bought the wrong paint for their needs, based on the fact that it would be a professional applying the paint, right? Or things of that nature, right? And for some painters, it may be seen as much easier to just have the homeowner supply the paint and then put them on, but unfortunately then it creates a lot of cases bad experiences. So that's not good for the painting industry in general, right? So by having painters become the trusted expert that really the trade should be, everybody starts winning. But we all need to kind of do our small parts to work towards that direction of making painting and the painting industry just an experience that's pleasurable for everyone involved. The paint manufacturers can be selling the right paint to the right clientele with good margins that they can survive, and then the homeowners can have a paint based on whether they're doing it themselves or a painter that will meet that need, especially when it's all said and done. They'll be as washable as they need it to be, as scrubbable or as resistant to humidity or whatever it is they need for that particular project. And then the painters can have a homeowner that trusts and looks forward to that experience, right? Did you get value in this video? If you're a homeowner in the Greater Moncton area, that's why, if you notice, we don't call it an estimate, we call it painting consultation, because we do come to your door for free to discuss the project and make the recommendations based on your unique needs of which products should be used, and then take it from there. So I've dedicated my career to really going far in the understanding of paint, so that I can be in a place of service for my clients, so that they can trust me. So if you are in that place where you're ready to change your colors and you want some help with that, that is what we specialize in. And if you're a painter out there anywhere in the world and you want to get that going, get that knowledge to be able to better serve your clientele, do register for the Painter Training Program at Expressionist Paint University. This is where we'll teach you everything that's about what's inside a gallon of paint. We're talking about 20 years worth of experience that I've condensed into 45 videos, so that to help you in that career and get you started, and see that painting is not just about putting paint on the wall. You need to know what to put and how to put it as well, right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.